Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are going to be beginning the narration and character voice acting for the See You Soon story collection. Alright then everybody, it has only been a very short while since we had our last side story and we already have a new one. The Sui sibling story literally just finished and See You Soon is already here. But, like I just said in the intro, this is a very special one because, unlike the vignette stories like, for example, Casdalian Rescue that we had in the last couple of months, which was a single story from start to finish, this is a true and bona fide story collection, which means that every single one of these cards is gonna be a single story by itself. And the theming, as it might be already visible from the cards and the characters on them, is main story. So, it might not surprise you what I'm gonna say next, but for those of you who have not finished the main story up until the end of chapter 14, this will carry big spoilers for there, but also might confuse you, or both, at the same time. But yeah, I would recommend finishing the main story up until the end of chapter 14 before heading into this, if you either don't want to have spoilers from these individual cards, feel confused, or hear me later talk about spoilers for the main story, because I will be talking about some stuff from there as well. So yeah, if you want to catch up with the main story, in the description of this video is the full playlist for the main story. So pretty much just pick it up from wherever you left off and just keep on listening through there until you get to the end of chapter 14. But yeah, this is a very interesting collection, I will say. And from the cards that we're going to be covering today, I'm guessing the entire theming for this is also gonna be a bridge point to whatever is coming next. Will be very visible from the second one that they are definitely bridging towards something, but we'll get to that when we get to that. First, let us begin with our very first one, with our Eblana banana over here, and I will say, if the theming with the naming on these cards is gonna continue, it's gonna be very funny. I have not seen the last three, but the very first two are already funny. When you just look at it and you're just like, okay, that is that. But yeah, the first card here for Eblana, and I'm probably gonna butcher it because it is in Irish. It says, and this one depends on which of the dialects you're gonna pick, but it's either Ainch, Eint, or Eint. But let's go with one of them and go with Ainch an Grian, which basically translates into a couple of things depending on how you're translating the very first word. But you could translate it into something burning like the sun, for example, is a good example. But there are a couple of other examples as well, again, depending on what you're using. Google will give you one example. I went with burning like the sun because it sounds a little bit more poetic and a bit more appropriate. But yeah, the first word translates to a couple of things. They all are themed after a flame in the name, but yeah, it's very telling what it is once we finish it. So, let's begin and see what the leader is doing. All shall return to fire. While you, my unruly shadow, you had every opportunity to avoid involving yourself in this. But since you decided to jump into the flames together, come. Join this magnificent blaze where even shadows lose themselves. So, we're basically right outside Londinium. That's what I heard. I've never walked so much my entire life. You figure you walked more than the others? Them? They followed the leader all the way from the Scotland fields. How can you even compare? Well, who's counting? Besides, we're here. What now? We fight? I suppose. We've been through more than our fair share of scuffles on our way here anyway. Stray Sarkas, wasteland bandits, soldiers hired by nobles. Oh, sorry, present company excluded. I meant the ones who specifically target Tarrants. You know the type. I know. I just wanted to say, No, it's nothing. Come on, out with it. Is your leg better now? Can you do a little jig? The slightly sultry breeze of early autumn blows the stench of swamp and grass into the air. The soldier, separated from his squad, looks up towards Londinium. His ears are not being deafened by sporadic cannon fire, nor is the Sarka's witchcraft he heard so much about anywhere to be seen. Fine, I'll try. Just don't step on my leg. They're dancing in a camp. I'll tell them to stop. We can't risk the noise this close to the battlefield. No, it's fine. We'll be safe as long as we're inside a camp. But we have to press forward. No. The road ahead passes through a battlefield, and I should go alone. Reed! Lauren! Come and dance with us! So you're all here? Balf's just up ahead. No clue how we're gonna end up, but everyone's in pretty good shape for now, so let's dance while we still can. Maybe if we move enough, it'll shake off the fear. That's lovely, but I'd rather everyone stay here and go no further. Huh? We're not going to battle? It's too dangerous for you. So you're going on ahead, all by your lonesome? I'm sorry. How long will you be gone? I don't know, but I'll definitely return. Reed, everyone who followed you here knows that fighting is inevitable. We all know we're not qualified to join the fray, but we want to help you, even if all we can do is to block a few bolts. I'm not qualified either. Reed? Be it Wellington, the other dukes, or the Sarkas, they are the ones tipping the scales of this war. But us? No matter which side we choose, will make less of a difference on a battlefield than a speck of dust. That goes for both you and me. Then why? There is something I must do. But don't mistake me. What I intend is no nobler than facing off with the Victorians for a people, swords drawn. I just have to face it. To face her. The leader? The leader. Almost every Taran knows of Dublin and the leader. Even those not in the know will soon learn of their existence from the increased Victorian aggression after Wellington's army marched off towards Londinium. Of course, they will also realize that the leader of Dublin, standing before them, would seem out of place with the fabled Spectre Force or on Wellington's high-speed battleship. But she saved them and asked nothing of them, so to them, she's without a doubt the leader. People come and go. Those of us still here have already made up our minds, so don't you worry on our behalf. Don't mind my wounds, I still have a chance against the restless dead. You saved my life. Even if I die here, it will be a worthy death. Thank you, everyone, but we didn't come all this way to become martyrs. The road ahead of us doesn't lead to yet more fighting. On the contrary, when I return, we'll return to Atara without war. Together. The group stays silent. So you're coming back for sure, Reed? I am. Then we'll wait for you. Thank you. After the battle at Silver Oak Bluffs, the Royal Court forces retreated behind Londinium's walls, while Victoria's dukes kept their forces stationed around the city, in no hurry to assault it. Wellington's army, with their fresh new flag, did not participate in the siege, and stationed themselves just outside the war zone like an indifferent observer, coolly watching the deadlock outside the city. But a stalemate does not necessarily mean peace. Scouting efforts and countermeasures raids and ambushes, sarkas, witchcraft, and brief cannon barrages. Accompanying them are the curses and groans of the immobilized wounded, unable to do anything but wait in vain for death to come. Everything comes together in a tapestry of stifling tranquility. The Draco takes advantage of the current peace and sets off to put an end to it. How's the situation outside the city? A group of Victorians tried to snatch their wounded off the battlefield a few hours ago, but we bled them dry. But they'll beat us to death if they spot any of us alone, and their firepower is terrifying to boot. Captain, is it true what that so-called bobble on the radio said the other day? Shut up if you want to live. What? We were walking around outside the city, even helping to treat the wounded. Is she mocking us? Don't you think we're already as good as dead? I'll give you a minute. Consider your lives forfeit if she's still breathing. Wait, what? You're telling me she's even saving the sarkas? Bloody devils. They've been holed up in there for days and still pack a punch. Personally, I'd rather the siege continue. Old Wellington's not in the siege, changed flags and retreated to his own camp. It's obvious he no longer wants to fight the sarkas. Her Grace the Duke of Castor, in her magnanimity, has ordered us to not pursue the matter any further, but where are we going to find more unlucky blokes to hold off the sarkas' troops? I mean, I'm certainly not volunteering for the duty. Are there even any Victorians left in the city? What with so many wounded soldiers out here on the field? Reporting in. We have returned. But what? How? Everyone we sent to rescue you never came back. A weaver. A caster. She saved us. A weaver? Which duke does she serve? Gododin? Fife? No idea. She didn't even seem to care which side we were on. Solid. Just who was she? You're saying she was going what? Towards the city? Seemed like it. To the Castrel. I'm sorry. This is all I can do for you. It's okay. I'm just really relieved my chest doesn't hurt anymore. At least. Thank you so much, leader. I've seen you before at Oak Grove. You said then the flames have already been kindled. So now I'll become one of the restless dead and continue fighting for Tara even after I die, right? Is that what you want? Then my answer is this. You won't. What? The flames will indeed swallow up many lives, but never should they intentionally use life as tinder. That isn't how flame is meant to be used. Do you know the legend of the Watchmen? Those who send returning Taran warriors to sleep in flame so they may finally know rest? Your fight is over, soldier. I hope you find rest, just as they did. Leader, I can't, This is an order. As you command. Brigadier, sir? What's the situation with our target? She's been treating the wounded on her way, but otherwise has been headed straight towards our camp. She'll soon reach the Gastrel's gangway. One of the Sarkas and the other Duke's movements? The Sarkas have made a few probing attacks with small squads, but are evidently unaware of the situation and have failed to slow her down. Continue surveillance and prepare for her to board. Eliminate any threat to her life. Yes, sir. Another thing, Brigadier, sir. We and you Tarans have already become companions on the battlefield after risking our lives together, yes? No need to beat around the bush. Ask me any question you have. I've heard some rumors regarding the target, that you once planned to get rid of her. So why are you protecting her now?
Reporting in. Target is at the gangway.
The flag officer gives a inquiring look to the brigadier. Letterboard. Bring her to the command center. The bridge? Letterboard, and bring her to the Gastrel's command center.
Yes, sir.
I thought you would have welcomed her personally. Me? I'm no longer qualified.
Your Grace? I thought the one waiting for me would be my sister.
It is inconvenient for Princess Eblana to meet you at the moment, Miss Lakshmi. But I am quite interested in how you managed to obtain the G0 high ground coordinates. Is it the pharmaceutical company you stay at? That doctor?
Yes.
Then, my lady, would you kindly pass along a message? The doctor will have to personally come and get whatever is wanted from Tara.
The doctor was only helping me meet my sister, expecting nothing from Tara, only hoping to end the war sooner, and I agree.
Pardon my frankness, Miss Lakshmi, but I see only a mouthpiece here, and I believe mouthpieces have no authority to make suggestions.
I am no go-between. I represent only myself.
Then I shall hear you out. What exactly do you want?
Peace.
Peace. The cannons still ring. The Sarkis witchcraft still hovers above our heads, and you speak of peace. It is only because I'm meeting you in good faith that I will choose not to regard it as an insult to this war.
That is absolutely not my intention. This war continues not because it cannot be ended, Your Grace. Even I can tell the Sarkas are running out of time. The Victorians have surrounded the city but have refrained from an assault in order to preserve their strength. I suppose they plan to starve out the city. They do not care if any of their own countrymen remain inside. It does not matter if there actually are, so long as they don't see a single one of them when they eventually enter the city. An ugly tactic, if there ever was one.
The root of ugliness is cowardice, as it always has been. The morality of one's actions does not diminish its cowardice, Miss Lakshmi. Cowardice is when you hesitate to take responsibility.
Which is why I am standing before you now. I hope that you and your forces can put an end to this ugly siege, break the Sarkas' fragile front, and spare every Victorian in the city from the calamity created by their own people.
I see. Now I understand why you have come. As Her Highness Eblana has said, you show both compassion and ability. But these virtues of yours are far from a reason for the Tarans to once again involve themselves in a conflict between the Sarkas and the Victorians.
The Gastrel would not be stationed here if intervention was never an option.
I asked for a reason, Miss Lakshmi. I, the Gastrel, and the countless other Taran warriors require a reason good enough for us to risk our own lives.
Please, Your Grace.
Please has no power on the battlefield. Reed tries her best to look straight into Wellington's eyes. She knows well what holds the most power on the battlefield. She knows she is qualified to wield it, and that right is all she has. She also knows that once she uses it, there will be no turning back. But she was never uninvolved, and that is precisely why she came here.
Then, Your Grace, I order you. In the name of Tara, I order you to rescue the Victorian civilians inside the city. I order your fleet to smash the weak Sarkas defense line to bring Londinium the relief she should have had long ago. I order the Terran army to demonstrate noblesse oblige, not for material benefit, but for all to see our glory.
As you command. Any other orders?
You've been stationed outside Londinium this whole time, yet you acquiesced to my command so easily. Could it be because my sister...
No. My presence here means only one thing. That once again, I was able to witness the cowardice and evil of the Victorians. As long as you are willing to give orders, you will have command. You merely made a choice to align yourself with Her Highness Eblana and the newborn Tara.
I did. I would have come here even if the city was not being besieged.
If so, then I believe Her Highness will soon find the time to grant you an audience. I'm sorry to say, but this truly is an inconvenient time for her to meet you.
What is she planning?
Does it matter? Whether it succeeds or fails, it will nonetheless benefit Tara.
Truly?
She made a promise, and she will honor it. Do excuse me. The command center returns to silence as Reed scrutinizes the conversation they just had. She completed some of her objectives and learned a few things, but is left even more puzzled. She has stepped in and can no longer turn back. Miss Lakshmi.
You are?
The general ordered me to escort you out and show you to your cabin. You may spend your time aboard the Gastrel as you please before we reach Taran territory.
My apologies, but there are people waiting for me.
Do you mean the Tarans who have been following you? The general did consider this. He is willing to send a squad to lead them to our camp here, and let them board a ride on a support ship back to the capital, Nasrsha.
No, I promised them I would return. Just as I am promising you right now, and how I promised His Grace that I will return to Nasrsha. I believe we made that clear in our earlier exchange.
My apologies, but I'll need to ask the general about this. He's busy? But, What? With your busy schedule, even, Yes, as you command. Miss Lakshmi.
I'm listening.
Direct orders from the leader. She has instructed us not to interfere with your movements.
The leader?
Yes. But she does ardently hope that you can stay just a little while longer. To witness a grand performance. Are you sure about not meeting her personally?
No need to. Strictly speaking, the war has yet to end. Nothing good will come of meeting Lakshmi now. It will only bring her more confusion.
Very well, Your Highness. Please return to the command center and await the good news.
Hold on.
What do you mean?
Seeing that Lakshmi is willing to tie her own fate to Tara's, we should show her the might of the nation she's about to be a part of.
Rest assured, we will demonstrate it with the Sarkis' prompt defeat. But if you prefer a more personal show of force, the Gastrel is more than willing to oblige.
Consider it a grand welcome. As my dear sister has made her wishes clear, shouldn't I help her realize them with my own hands?
Didn't I tell you it doesn't matter where that warrior came from? She's helping the Victorians, so she's got to die. Simple as that. We're no match for her. You're worthless. Ugh, forget it. It's just one wyvern. What was that noise? A high-speed battleship, currently speeding towards the city walls. Victorian? It's the Gastrel. It's the Duke of Wellington guy. Not just him. Castor's fleet seems to be spontaneously coordinating with the ship. Raid! Raid incoming! Purple flames? Captain! Atop the Gastrell's bow stands the leader of Dublin, purple flames spreading from the tip of her spear to the city walls. Her flames of death erupt from the Sarkas on the perimeter, spreading to adjacent victims as they wantonly seek the next host, leaving only the floating Nachtzer untouched by fire.
Nachtzer, god of war, lord of war and death. A shame there is no longer enough death here to sate you. Even living legends have their endings, but surely becoming the kindling of a new legend is better than wasting away in obscurity.
Oh, the brazenly ambitious young Draco. Very well then. Red Dragon, who toys with life and death on a spear. Just how well do you comprehend death? I suppose this is not the worst way to kill time before the war is over.
Do try to hold on a little longer, Nachtzer. Let us show those Victorians what death truly is, while the artillery still rings.
I have waited a long time, young Draco. You are bolder than the others. Then use those flames of yours to send a message to those cowards surrounding the city. I am here. The war is here. The stench of rot thickens as the ice-cold flames of death rage. Death crashes into death over the faint shelling and thin city walls. They really started fighting? Did the leader... Shush! There's no way she'd... No, we have to go and find her.
We promised we'd wait for her here.
But the fighting's broken out in Londinium again.
Just believe in her.
I do, but listen, that's the sound of witchcraft and the Duke's cannons. How could the leader...
Like she believes in us.
The wounded soldier is left speechless, only able to look back on the tranquility now torn apart by flame and chaos, searching for a reason for his squad to join the battlefield. Past the smoke and mire, he sees a figure. The leader, Reed, Lakshmi. She finished her own fight, held true to her promise, and returns to lead them on, to the end of their journey. To home, to peace.
Let's go, everyone. What is happening there is no longer something we can involve ourselves in. It's time to head home.
So yeah, that was our first card and our first story. This was a thing that was actually more so elaborated on and actually more shown in the very recent Grand Overture story for Vina Victoria. That was out a couple of months ago. I will leave, for people who have not seen that story yet, I will leave the playlist in the description of this very video. But yeah, in that story we did see a little glimpse in a flashback where we heard, mostly over like a radio message, that Lakshmi, aka Reed, made contact with the Gastrell, which also obviously meant that she made contact with, in a sense, with her sister, but we did not see what happened next. We only knew that the Gastrell moved and went into action after that. But yeah, here we see the whole spiel of what happened, and pretty much Lakshmi taking up her mantle as leader, and her sister, obviously, the ever-doting one, forcing her to do quite a lot of stuff that she never wanted to do earlier in life. But yeah, we see now here what actually transpired back then. She actually arrived at Yggdrasil, she gave orders to Wellington, and he executed on those orders. And we know how everything else went afterwards. But yeah, quite a big deal, honestly, that she picked up that mantle. And the sun, burning like the sun now makes more sense. I do like the whole arc that Lakshmi has went through all the way up until now, like from the oppressed kinda in a cage kind of arc from the beginning to actually finding her footing and her way of life, to now actually picking up even more steam and more momentum in this whole thing. It will be very interesting. Another thing from this story card that I want to point out very quickly as a quick reminder, the ship that not Yggdrasil, but the ship that was mentioned, the other one that was mentioned in this story, was like a supply ship that was supposed to pick up the refugees that are with Lakshmi. The name of the ship being, and yes, it is apparently pronounced in the same way as a certain other NPC so far in the main story, Saoirse, aka the very same NPC woman that once upon a time Reed killed. It is differently written. It is definitely differently written, but from the research that I was doing, it is apparently pronounced in the same way. Very funny as well. The ship's name, Saoirse, apparently translates to the freedom. That is one of the most ironic things that I've heard in a while. It's so ironic, it's kind of funny. I'm actually surprised that, I mean, again, it's definitely a tiny bit differently written. I'm surprised that Reed didn't react to it in any kind of way, but yeah, that's a bit of a cruelty there to let her and her people board a ship by that name. But anyway, we move on to our next story, which obviously will feature Talulah. And for those who can read Russian alphabet, you will know what already says here. But for those of you who can't, I will not translate this right now. I will do it after we're done. And I will do it purely because it might actually spoil the ending of this card. So I'm gonna leave it for when we're done. So let's begin. Here's the old files on Chernobyl, Chief. They're on your desk. Hope you can find the info you wanted somewhere in those dusty papers. Thanks for sorting them out, Zenya. The assistant closes the door as he leaves, as usual. It scrapes against the uneven flooring, letting out a shrieking sound. The editor sits up straight, lights a cigarette, and pushes through the discomfort as he flips through the stacks of old newspapers. The Third Army's dereliction of duty in the Chernobyl incident. Same old, same old. Chernobyl closes mine, a heavy blow towards the Virginium industry. Nova Chernobyl, the infected lives a blessed life under His Majesty's glory. Utter dribble. No, this isn't what I want. These trashy tabloids are barely scratching the surface. None of these reports are anywhere close to the truth. The editor pushes up his glasses and flicks away some stray cigarette ash, but accidentally sends sparks flying onto the paper. He rushes to extinguish the sudden fire, but the newspaper already bears a freshly burned hole. Through the hole, the editor sees an ensemble of letters. Reunion. A name he has never heard of before.
In the last few days, a stream of infected have been showing up wanting to join Reunion. I told them we'll be leaving Londinium in 1 month's time, heading for the Duke of Gododin's territory. Are they willing to follow us there? They neither agreed nor refused. They couldn't come up with an answer. I'll prepare for bringing them along. I have nowhere else to go. Katahdin, I hear the Dukes issued more than a few decrees benefiting the infected, so it's worth checking out. Decrees and reality are not the same thing. Obviously, which is why we need to see for ourselves.
From a corner comes a rustling sound as Shen turns a newspaper page.
Nothing to say even after listening in for so long, Shen. Everything you've talked about is internal business. As an outsider, I have no right to comment. I've been focusing on the news anyway. You weren't this quiet with many of the others in private. We need your thoughts, Hyushi. When I let you tag along with us, it wasn't just to show you how different we are from the other organizations. Don't go getting the idea that you'd have to take responsibility for either of us. Given our current situation, anyone's input is welcome, as long as we can help these people out, so speak your mind. You're planning to take in people with nowhere else to go? Why not? They'll bring in new vitality to our group. Or new conflicts. This group you've gathered under the banner of what you're calling reunion is as ragtag as they come. Is this what you promised me when you left? Not to mention her.
Shen looks toward the indifferent Talulah.
You're bound to attract more eyes in future. So if you ask me, I suggest staying in Millennium for a while and restructuring yourselves. You mean letting someone more suitable handle it? I won't deny that. Just look at the people you have here. Criminals, infected, deserters. Do you have a clue where you're taking them? We're not going to stay here forever, at the very least. What is it? What's the hurry?
9, Red just came back with some urgent news. He shoots a glance at Shen. Ever since the stranger called Shen showed up, his companions have been behaving strangely. She rarely leaves Talulah and 9 alone, but has never once commented on Reunion's actions either.
Go on, she's one of us.
Troops from the Ducal Alliance are approaching the factory. Should we get them to leave?
Ducal troops? They can't be coming for us, but I'll head there myself and see what's going on. Talulah, keep everyone else hidden. Alright. So, you agree with 9's methods? Not exactly, but this group is nothing like the original group I traveled with on the tundra. Unfortunately, oppressed peoples are treated the same way no matter where they are. No one cares where we go, Hyushi, only where we decide to stop, and then they'll figure out how to drive us away. Reunion. It's a mistake I've made myself. 9 has no intention of wiping the slate clean, but if she needs me to come up with a new meaning, I have no right to refuse. And her conscience is crystal clear. 9 and myself, we know very well what we're doing. But you, Hyushi, you chased me, or rather Reunion, all the way here. Why are you still delaying what you decided long ago?
Talulah leaves. Shen doesn't catch up with her. Keep moving, you beasts! Don't stop!
Bloody bastards!
Get up now! Look at these disgusting sick freaks. Wish I could just get rid of them here and now. The Exemplar's territory is just ahead. Are you considering dumping our rubbish right on their doorstep? I say we stay out of trouble. They've already set up garbage disposal stations, so no littering.
Garbage disposals? I want to ask when or where you got your orders, soldiers. But this is no place for an execution.
Ah, the infected hiding in the factory. You should be thankful that we're busy catching these devils instead of... The air grows warm. 9 casts a quick glance toward a corner shrouded in darkness. Within it, a fire ignites, then slowly dims. Did you just feel a tingling on your skin like I got burned by fire? Itching for a fight, huh?
This factory area is under the Exemplar's protection. So why don't you go ask your superiors if they'd mind an idiotic subordinate stirring up conflict here and smashing this hard-worn piece to pieces? I think you'll know how to speak to us after that.
But suppose our allies, our friends, were to show inappropriate sympathy and compassion towards our common enemy, I imagine my superiors would be humming a different tune. Move, infected!
They don't sound like they came from Castle.
Devils are freakishly good at disguises. There is no way we're letting a devil merc slide past us. Get moving, you damn devils! The squad escorting the Sarka slowly trudges through the long street, though both captors and captives look exhausted and numb. 9 watches as they leave, and spots a few teenagers stumbling at the end of the downcast parade of prisoners.
Bastards.
Here's the place, sir. The blaze lasted for 3 days and left basically nothing behind. Did the fire spread anywhere other than the patrol unit's outpost? No, but many miners seized the chance to escape. Everyone was so scared. They didn't know when the patrol unit would arrive. But seems like you got here first. You said you're a reporter? But who's to say for sure? Let's not get into that. So if the management here has always been hard on everyone, how did the miners carry out the arson? The miners? Oh, no. The village had an old noble from the city. Good heart. That man, was a bit too kind-hearted if you ask me. Couldn't stand what was happening in the mines. Always talking about rescuing the miners. We thought it was all talk, but in the end, he really went and did it. Oh? Then where is he now? Must have died in the blaze with the patrol unit. Huh. A noble who bravely sacrificed his life to help the suffering infected miners. That would make a pretty good headline. The reporter gazes at the scorched land. Nearby buildings have been reduced to rubble, and in place of the once lush forest stands unsightly tree stumps. Suddenly, a scorch mark draws his attention. It looks unusual, almost aesthetically pleasing. Do you know who left this mark here? That's just from the fire. I'm not buying that. It looks like a symbol to me. So, who left it here? No clue. It was just here after the fire. So you're saying it was a deliberate act, an attempt to send out a signal? Salvation. Am I? Didn't you just explain the real history behind it for me?
No need to rush. Get in line. Everyone will get some.
How much longer do we have to stay here, Mission? When will the next squad leave the city?
Don't worry. You're safe here. I've reached out through many different channels to get everyone out of here.
I heard the Sarkis hunting soldiers have found this place. If they found out you're sheltering us,
Sheltering? Why speak as if you're fugitives of the run? You're citizens of Londinium, victims of this war.
We were already unwelcome long before the Sarkis troops entered the city. Believe me, it's more than just soldiers on that team. Being a Sarkis is already a crime, the worst one you can commit. Doesn't matter if you took part in the war or not.
I know.
Anyways, thanks for taking us in. I ironed it out with the others. We'll wait for 3 days for a chance to leave the city. If we don't get one, we'll go by ourselves.
It's not the best time to leave. The soldiers have been even more active recently.
All the more reason to get out as soon as we can. Every day we put it off will only worsen the situation.
If you insist, we'll help you out.
Appreciate the generosity. I suggest you guys do the same. Who do you think they'll target next once the city is out of Sarkas? Most of you are infected. You should know how their nobles treat you guys.
Today's paper, sir.
I can't be bothered to read it, Alyosha. Anything noteworthy?
New tax policies, some literary works, a few scandals, and revolts all over the country.
Let me see. Finally some real reporting. I thought those Deity Griffenberg reporters only knew how to run tabloids. Infected have been striking at factories and outposts across the country. Some regions are experiencing a surge of uprisings, as infected have brazenly attacked outposts and government agencies, causing serious losses. It is said that they are inspired by an infected organization known as Reunion. Oh, look, they even left some symbols.
Do you wish to end your convalescence now?
Oh, of course not. Do you even realize how hard it is for me to get a vacation?
But your colleagues from the propaganda department have visited you many times already.
Oh, my dear Alyoshenka, our dear nation has been suffering from a chronic disease for quite some time, and there are many who wish to heal her. But to do so, these rotten old wounds must first see the light of day. I've had enough of my colleagues patching them up over and over.
How should I reply then?
Tell them any discussion must wait until my vacation is over. Did they ransack the streets again for another batch of prisoners? Here's your soup, Talulah.
Thanks.
Too bland? Well, I had to ransack our stash to get the last of the salt.
It's fine. Good even. Huh. Ransack? That's a good word. Only a week ago they wouldn't have come here, let alone taken any children among the prisoners. But we just saw both happen. They've been dead set on wiping out any trace of the Sarkas from the past 2 weeks. At first it was just Sarkas soldiers who couldn't evacuate in time. Next, it was any Sarkas civilian who had any dealings with the army. Now, even Londinium-born Sarkas aren't being spared. I thought you'd make a move, Yushi. That would only complicate things. We're in Victoria, so I have to act more cautiously. That'll only cost us more time. A few days ago I saw a group of kids harassing a poor woman. All she did was to marry a Sarkas and raise their children together. This is how they treated the infected before the war, and now it's Sarkas' turn. Eventually every Londinium citizen will face this. Time is what these mistreated people lack most.
Nine pauses and glances at Talulah right beside her. However, she seems unusually calm, as if the sudden temperature increase earlier was just a hallucination.
I thought you'd make a move on the Victorians earlier. It was only a warning. It'll only bring us more trouble if we pester them any further. She has a point. We should keep a low profile until we're forced to show ourselves. Attacking Ducal Alliance troops on the factory streets certainly won't do anything to improve the lives of the workers here. So you weren't angry. What you're experiencing I have too long ago. But at least Sarka's blood isn't contagious like oropathy. I've long since learned to control my rage. At the very least, I won't waste it on clueless underlings like the soldiers from before. This war has turned the oppressed into oppressors. It's not their fault. Then who should the innocent Sarkas vent their anger on? Remember that Sarkas merchant with the motorbike who helped us get supplies? The infected killed him out of fear. Now, that fear is spreading unchecked as the Sarkas are gradually retreating. Infected soldiers, nobles, even civilians who've never seen war. Everyone thinks they're in the right. So you're correct, Talulah. Sarka's blood isn't contagious like oropathy, but hatred and fear are. You've decided then? To save the Sarkas? I see no need to hesitate. They're no different from us. I'm just not sure how to minimize the fallout, so I need your help. Keep the people at camp safe, as well as the workers. If you need my flames to burn for them, I won't hesitate. Red, let the workers know our plan. Those willing to join us can stay. Anyone too afraid to escape, bring him to the Exemplars camp.
Got it.
Shen. You can try to stop us, or you can leave and pretend nothing happened. Saving the Sarkas means you'll have to change everything you've planned. And if you go with them, none of the Dukes will let you stay long in their domain. 9. They won't let us stay long anyway, even without those people. We're infected, Shen. Maybe your time at Rhode Island has made you forget how we're actually treated. Then where will you go next? So you agree with our plan? Every prisoner shouldn't be executed so hastily. They don't even have an official order. Hyushi, the issue isn't where 9 and the others want to go, but where they're needed. We'll find a place that truly needs us, Shen. Not just the infected, anyone enslaved or deprived of their right to a fair chance at survival. A place with no discrimination or oppression. You know as well as the rest of us that will be difficult, if not impossible, 9. Of course, but this is the path a man we all knew left us before he died. Guard. Someone has to see it through, Hyushi. This new reunion makes their own medicine and strives to help anyone in need, without asking for anything tangible in return. Change is happening, but it's too fragile. They need something to believe in, an objective. That's the only way they can push forward. I don't completely agree with 9's way of doing things, but I see no reason to refuse to cooperate either. She's always admired the fairness you seek, Hyushi. So why not take a look at what she seeks?
On the tundra ignored by the Emperor's edict, rebel activity has intensified, with thousands of infected banding together to break their shackles and regain their freedom. We've achieved what used to be unthinkable. Ever since that first fire ignited by that anonymous noble, many of us have been communicating in hushed tones. Is there someone leading us? To be honest, I'm not too sure myself. What I do know is that our call to rise up has not been silenced, and is even now trying to escape from the tundra and its army of trees blocking the way. Our proof is that unique symbol everyone's curious about, the symbol scorched by flame.
The hoarse voice on the radio smashes the countryside's peace apart. People open their doors or climb onto their windowsills, listening quietly. The broadcast excites them, their palms feeling hot even though they live in a place with temperatures far below zero. Then they light up torches in the center of the village. The light illuminates their eyes and warms their bodies underneath their thin layers of clothing. Soon, nearby villagers spot the firelight and start bonfires one after the other. On the dark tundra, countless fires light up the night sky.
We gather on this inhospitable tundra, following in their footsteps to take root here. Everyone has heard of the group that disappeared into Chernobog to fight for the infected. Reunion. Have they heard our call? Have they finally returned?
Alright, you drags, turn around!
Sir, please, spare my life, please! I was born here! I'm different from the rest, sir, please!
I said shut it!
Sir, please!
Kid, he doesn't give a damn who you are. He just wants to kill every Sarkas he sees. Shut up! The boy suddenly smells a strange scent. It makes him recall his mother's perfume as she hugged him. Countless flowers bloom on the bloodstained floors, and the scent grows stronger. The executioner suddenly coughs violently until he throws up a cluster of bloody flower buds. You... Get him out of here. Our people will know what to do. You lot... Nine, stop your Regini marts. You already saved the Sarkas. Killing them is a step too far. Could you have just kept silent as usual, Shen? Stop making more enemies everywhere you go unless you want the dukes chasing after a reunion once you leave the city. Talulah can make sure that it looks like an accidental blaze. No, they'll only put the blame on the Sarkas, calling it an act of revenge. And then what? Who will the dukes turn their gaze to? More innocent Sarkas. Or, say, an infected group wandering around Victoria with who knows how many Sarkas in tow. Letting them go will only make things worse. Tell me, Shen, when we finally come face to face with the Ducal Alliance with no chance to escape, how will it keep the infected and innocent Sarkas then there safe? Enough! There's still other ways! The tip of Shen's sword touches Nine's throat. I've imagined this happening countless times. In fact, I'm shocked it didn't happen sooner. I went to school with many of their superior officers. I can talk to them. As what? As a former senior inspector of the LGD? As Operator Shen of Rhode Island? Or what? An old classmate reminiscing about the good old days? I can guarantee these Sarkas will be safe, at least. Of course, I trust you'll keep that promise. But you're missing my point, Shen. There are limits to one person's power. Even you can help the people you can't see. I know your capabilities all too well, and that's exactly why I'm even more sure that your momentary kindness won't change a thing. It can't. What I need is people willing to follow us, to see with their own eyes what we have to do. Spare me the sophistry, Nine. I'm only looking at facts here. Sophistry, huh? Maybe we're all seeking fairness, but our interpretations of it are different. This is why I've long since given up hope of you coming to understand me and the future I'm looking forward to. You can most certainly try to arrest me, Officer Shen. Shishao stays in place, and Nine's gaze remains on Shen. A flaming sword shakes Shishao away. This isn't the place to wax nostalgic about your old days on the Force. Talulah stabs her longsword into the ground, separating the all tensed up two. I didn't call for your help, Talulah. Don't act like you know everything better. Nine, there is nothing wrong with Hugh Shi's idea. The Dukes would be overjoyed at someone volunteering to remove every last Sarkas from Londinium, and they might not make any moves on us. But more importantly, there are still eyes on both of you. They only care about one thing. Where should they go now? The rescued Sarkas and the reunion members following Nine are both terrified. They have no idea what to do next. Many of them can't understand exactly what it is you want, Nine. They just want to live. They need time. It might take a while to show them the future you see. Of course I know that. I have the patience to wait for my sophistry to bloom into a concrete plan of action. And will you achieve that with even more sacrifices? How do you decide who? Enough! I'm not here to determine which of you is right or wrong. It's not my place to. But for now, just take them away from here. Take everyone who's willing to leave the city with us. Hugh Shi might manage to prevent the Victorians from harassing us in the short term, but we'll still have to prepare for the worst. Are you giving me an order, Talulah? No, I'm offering my opinion. But where can you go? Your identities are too conspicuous. Is this where you say we should go to Rhode Island? Yes, I have to see that both of you judged. But not right now. Many infected are still relying on you, and I can't just leave them in the dust. Huh,
Classic Officer Shen. Want my opinion?
Whenever Talulah proactively offers her thoughts to Nine, it often leaves the Phidia with even more doubts towards her. But Talulah has never fallen behind. She always walks silently in the center of their group, so inconspicuous that people forget she exists. Reunion's leader, Kashay's adopted daughter, and the manipulative mastermind behind the Chernobog disaster. Talulah, regarded as a hero by infected who do not know the truth. Her sword begins to burn and its flames spread across the floor. They jump and fall, outlining a symbol. The firelight reflects in the trio's eyes, but their faces still bear some gloom. The mark once represented a dark past. Within it hides all sorts of crimes and injustices, certain to sting if revealed for all to see.
Ursus. We can go back to Ursus. That's a terrible idea. What? Thinking about your unfinished business over there? No, I want to right my wrongs. I've received news from Ursus. The infected are breaking their shackles and congregating on the tundra again. They claim to be answering the call of reunion and have decided to stand up and fight for the rights and freedoms the infected and other oppressed deserve. They were inspired by a lie, but their determination to fight back is certainly real. So they gave you the courage to recall the good old days? It's not only infected over there. There are students, exiled officers and soldiers, guilt-ridden nobles. It's exactly the strength you need. Strength that ignores the difference in race or identity and crushes the fear of disease, united by a common goal. Besides, it'll take time to leave with this many people, and I think that should be long enough for you to explain Guard's precious dream to those still willing to follow you. You don't want to restore Reunion's reputation? No, I never expected to hold such a large influence even today. Even if the Ursus Empire has long since covered up what happened at Chernobog. The voices craving resistance are like water. They might be burned and dry up, but they'll eventually return to the land as rain. Returning to Ursus is easier said than done. There are too many factors involved, and more things for me to confirm. That's your problem, not ours. Talulah, even if Reunion can turn a new leaf, representing once again freedom and happiness. What about you, Talulah? Your sins can't be washed away. Your existence is Reunion's darkest history. How can you face the pure white tundra as you are? I know that I stand here today no longer as a leader, but as a symbol, a flag, or even a weapon to be wielded. But I'll take it. I'll accept the shackles you place on me. I've had many different identities. Draco, noble, leader, infected. None of these matter anymore. Today I remain only someone who once scattered the seeds of sin. The wrongs I committed in Ursus, I will repay in Ursus. Repay? You make it sound so simple. I will not act as just a flag this time. Then how? I'll throw myself into a true blaze and let it all burn until even the tundra's chill melts away. I'll go back to Ursus to try and face my own trial. And you can be there to witness it, Nine. Witness the end of Reunion and the birth of something new from its corpse. That's what you truly want, is it not? You really don't mind? The reunion of my heart died long ago on the tundra, along with my companions. I'll go with you. Scared I'll harm more innocents? Both you and I. After following Reunion for a while, I can confirm that the group has changed somewhat. For good or bad, I can't say. I don't want to miss your trial, but I also don't want to jump to any hasty conclusions about whether the path 9 insists on is correct. From now on, I'll keep an eye on you as Rhode Island operator Shen. I need to keep Rhode Island informed, no matter what happens in Ursus. Talulah, 9. I'm responsible for you both. Whatever. Now you should probably get going. Leave these soldiers to me. I'll catch up later if I make sure they're okay. We didn't say we'd wait for you. Have you ever? I've always had to catch up on my own. Onwards to Ursus then. Onwards to Ursus.
The flames continue to spread slowly from the tip of the blade. Hot flames lick the bodies piled up in a corner, gently enveloping them. Amid the light crackling of the fire, Talulah silently prays for the flames to bring them to a brighter and warmer place. Alright then, that is our second one. Again, catching up to a thing that we saw prior to main story related stuff, which was when Shen ran into 9, and now we see what happened next after she met 9. She was with the two of them, hanging out and observing them. And as we see even further down the line, well, the story is gonna be, I guess, for these three, gonna be taking us back into Ursus territory. As you guys have seen in this whole little story segment, the story was jumping back and forth between Talulah 9 and Shen in here in Londinium, but then also it jumped over into Ursus, and we saw that people in Ursus have started to rile up. Someone over there has started a whole uprising essentially. And is using the name Reunion to make the uprising happen. Because a lot of people know the name, but they do not know, again, people do not know because it was very well kept hidden and hush-hush by the Ursus government, what Reunion actually did in Chernobog. And a lot of other places also kept all of that information quite hush-hush. Only certain people, certain cities, like Lungmen, for example, remember what actually happened. And yeah, here we see the results of all of that, what transpires. And something is brewing over in Ursus, it seems, so Talulah is going back to finally get judged herself, I guess. We'll see where that will end up probably one day, but it is very interesting. Also, I will say from a personal note, this story has been very hard to read out loud. I will not even try to pretend that this was very easy to voice, not because of the characters all being mostly female, but because the text for this was very weirdly written. I do not know, there is a very big departure from the first card to this second card, and again to the third one. The third one is fine. But this one specifically, I do not know what is with the text between these three chicks, but it was very horrible to read out loud for quite a lot of it. Until the very end. The end was kind of fine again. The end kind of picked up, but everything up until the very, like, 10% of this story card, I don't even wanna go there. So many repeats. But yeah, also, because I didn't translate this card at the beginning, it translates to go to Ursus. Or, and I'm gonna probably butcher it, but Otrapliates Cursus. Probably butchered it a lot, but anyway. But yeah, that's why I didn't want to translate it, because it literally signifies what is what is being said at the end of the card. But anyway, we have one more story, and that features our dear never aging and kinda immortal new operator. So let's see what is happening with Noel and his story.
Stay close to me, Ollie. You've got to stay close if you don't want me carrying you. Grab onto my clothes, okay? Mommy can't hold your hand right now. My palms are slippery with sweat. So grab on tight to my clothes. Mm-hmm. Colin! Colin! Where are you? Is there a way out? Oh no. Oh no, this isn't going to work. We should head back home and hide. Ollie's too little for this. Colin!
Over here! I found a way! The examples are drawing the devils away. If you can avoid the explosions...
Avoid the explosions? Do you remember how Schwal from the grocer tripped and fell on that patch of red glow? It was only a palm-sized wound, but it bled him dry. Did you forget? It's like the blood was sucked right out of him. Can you really call that just an explosion?
It's because his wound never healed. We'll be fine as long as we're careful not to get cut or scraped. The one thing we can't do is turn back.
The explosion just now sounded too close. I'd rather head back than die halfway without knowing what's happening. Your grandmother's still in the city.
Going back now would only mean more danger. We can't say for sure that all these Sargas have left the lockdown zone. You came from the outside? Are you with the Exemplars? Are you here to help us? Please! Sorry, I'm not with the Exemplars, and I'm not here to rescue people. I only came to Londinium to look for someone.
Who could be so important that you'd wear out your shoes running around Londinium at a time like this looking for them? But if you're not with the Exemplars, then you're just another poor sod like us. Let's go back, Colin.
The man sighs and looks around cautiously. The optician has returned to Londinium for the first time in many years, but the view he sees now is as if he is looking at the city through a lens in the heat of his workshop, blurred and distorted. By the time the image clears up, the only thing he can see is chaos. Trying to find an elusive presence in this bedlam will be no easy task, let alone someone whose appearance he does not even know. Could you show us a way out, good sir? I'll give you everything I have. If you manage to enter the lockdown zone without a scratch, you must know our safe route. Please! The gaunt man empties his pockets, takes out a few pieces of bread from a bag, and tries to stuff them into Noel's hands. The woman also takes out what few coins she has on her. Noel does not take them. He shakes his head, knowing that it is a thin line that separates these three people from the exsanguinated corpse by the roadside. And he stands behind that tiny divide, always a spectator. He has tried to reach out before, but his hands cannot save everyone. I am sorry. Sir!
Let's go, Colin. It's no use.
There's no other way. I'm not with the Exemplars, but I know where their camp is. I can take you there. Thank you. Thank you so much. But that's all I can do. It's plenty. We'll go with you.
What about your grandmother, Colin?
We'll come back for her once it's all over. Devils may be cruel, but even they wouldn't hurt the helpless old folks in the sanatorium. Right? I'll lead you out. After that, you're on your own. That's plenty, good sir. I couldn't possibly ask for any more. Thank you so much. No need to thank me. Grab your child and follow me. This way. This path will take you straight to the city walls. The Exemplars have set up camp around a breach in the wall. You could also seek refuge with the Ducal Alliance's army outside.
What about you, sir? I gather you aren't coming with us. You saved our lives. I don't know how you did it, but if there's anything we can do for you...
No need. My wounds have healed.
Even Even with your unique talents, the cannons won't show you any mercy more than they do us. You should come with us. You're Victorian too.
No, I've come this far. I have to find the one I'm looking for. I have no reason to stop.
You mentioned you were looking for someone. Who?
This is not the first time she's asked, but it is the first time she hears something other than calmness in his voice. The numerous wounds the man took, which should have killed him many times over, have all healed. Any bleeding quickly stopped, and even Sarka's art circles could not affect him. Only the pain persists. Even so, he clenches his fist. I'm looking for the one who gave me this talent.
What do we do, sir?
This way. I'll shield you. Leave before the next barrage begins. Out of the way! Today I'm finally getting out of this hellhole! Out of the way!
Stay back, sir. Children and the elderly have priority.
The hell they do!
The Salvation Corps evacuation route is the safest way. If you insist on leaving on your own, be my guest.
Who are you?
Me? I am the leader of the Londinium Self-Salvation Corps. You can call me Clovicia. I heard someone has been helping evacuate the citizens in this district. We appreciate your assistance. The Self-Salvation Corps will take it from here.
I can still help.
It's dangerous. We can't ask you to risk your life for others. We cannot promise a reward either.
No, you don't understand.
I'm afraid we don't have time to discuss this.
Long story short, let's just say I've got a sort of curse on me. There's no need to worry about my safety. I'll cover you to help more people evacuate. Besides, I'm still looking for someone here. That's the last of them. Where is that Self-Salvation Corps leader? Clovicia? Noel looks around and grabs a man who looks like a worker passing by. Excuse me. Ow! Oh, sorry. I didn't notice that your other arm was injured. I can treat your wound if you like. Never mind. What do you want? Have you seen Clovicia, the leader of the Self-Salvation Corps? She was leading groups of citizens being evacuated. We agreed to meet back here before splitting up, but I haven't seen her. The citizens have been led to safety. As for her, she's probably still organizing the final evacuation efforts. I can't be sure though. We're all busy after all. So she was here earlier? Seems like your routes are quicker and safer than mine. We know the Londinium Underground better, but nothing's completely safe. Clovicia is needed at the front line, guiding citizens away from the remaining Sarka's mercs. You might find her in the lockdown zone, if you're not afraid of the devil's traps. You seem to have rescued quite a few people yourself. You might be able to help out. Thank you.
Sir! Good sir! Have you seen my Ollie? My son, with the red hair? Quiet boy, only about as tall as my knee. Have you seen him?
What?
My son, he's gone. I lost him. Ollie!
Bloody hell, where did he go?
He kept asking about your grandmother, Colin. Maybe he was worried.
Have you searched the area?
Yes, the folks who came with us helped us out too. The only place left is the lockdown zone, but...
That doesn't bother me. I'll go. But Clovicia is... Just tell her I've already brought those people out safely.
I'll go with you.
No, you stay here.
No, I mean Clovicia is back.
with a red-haired child in her arms.
What? Where are they?
Everyone looks in the direction the man is pointing. That was when everything went wrong. No. Everybody, get back!
It's Ollie! She has Ollie!
Don't go! Noel only has time to grab the hysterical woman. A flash of red as far as the eye can see, and then the ground opens up like a gaping maw, swallowing the leader of the Self-Salvation Corps. All eyes are trained on the epicenter of the tremor. The one within it holds the child tightly in her arms until the very end. The dust cloud disperses and all is quiet again. For now. Partings like this have become a familiar sight to the people here. The outcome never changes, regardless of the victim. Wait, keep your distance! Noel knows all too well that there can sometimes be secondary explosions or aftershocks.
Ollie! Ollie!
Get a search party together! Anyone who can still move!
Sir, you're still here. Please help Ollie. You're not afraid of the devil's traps. Your wounds heal quickly, and you're so brave. Could you at least bring him back? He's still so little.
In Noel's long life, there have been precious few things he was able to control. He has an ocean of memories, but it is not up to him which ones float to the surface. Like an ordinary mortal, he can be distracted by flashbacks of the past that seem to overlap with the present as he gathers the weight of all those years. This will do.
Are you sure this is where we stop? Are you sure? You won't say? He's still so little. My youngest child. He doesn't even know the word grandpa yet.
Too long. It's been too long, my child. I should have gone with your mother, but I've waited so long. Long enough for you to grow older than your father. I've accomplished nothing, spent my life in hesitation, and lingered in this world for far too long. So long, in fact, that I've become a stranger to the children. If there is one way to end my fate as a bystander, now is the time. Noel looks towards the scene of the explosion and collapse. In the hole formed from brick and rubble, he seems to see visions of a dark mire from a century past. It was a morning like this. He had heard the same pleading, which he had stubbornly chosen to ignore, instead setting up a path in search of a death that could never come. This time, he will not make the same choice again. Clovicia shielded the child's head before she fell.
Sir!
There's at least a chance that Dolly survived, but no more than a chance. But that's enough. I will go and find them. Guided by the Self-Salvation Corps, Noel attempts to enter the underground ruins, helped by his years of experience in sheer immortality. About 300 meters to the west. His steps are light and brisk, never stopping until the sight before his eyes changes. A red-headed child lies quietly beside a pile of collapsed rubble, near the remnants of an activated art circle. The child is softly breathing. He hurries forward and takes the child into his arms. The boy's chest rises and falls rhythmically with his breathing. He could have been asleep in bed if not for the ash and gravel in his hair. Just passed out. No serious injuries. He was left here by himself, but he didn't fall here directly. Looks like I made it in time. Clovicia could be nearby. She put Ollie here. Clovicia! Are you there? If you hear me, knock on something hard. Clovicia? Can you? He takes a few steps and comes face to face with the truth. The young Self-Salvation Corps leader is half buried in rubble, not stirring in the slightest. Her eyelids are shut gently, naturally, as though she is only sleeping. Will she sleep here forever? Underground? A moment of pain in a fall that lasted seconds at most, leaving behind only peace. Noel could not help but think, if I could die, would I die with the same expression on my face? Clovicia! Oh! The aftershocks send gravel flying, like a foul beast shaking up water after a rain. It is quick, scattered, and unpredictable. Noel didn't even have time to check Clovicia for signs of life. No! As the place threatens to shake itself apart, he bends over and protects the child from falling rocks with his own body. The sharper pieces easily pierce his clothes and skin, digging deep into flesh and bone. He remains unmoving, clenching his teeth, waiting for the tremors to cease. He's awakened from his pain trance by the sound of crying. The boy had awoken to find himself in a dark, unfamiliar underground space. Following his instincts, he began to cry helplessly. Good morning, Ollie. It'll be okay. Everything will be okay. I'm here. It's Noel. We've met before, remember? The aftershocks cease. Carrying Ollie with one hand and supporting himself with the other, he forces himself to sit up, pushing the weight of his back. Fortunately, it is broken fragments of rock rather than a single heavy slab, but he can still taste blood in his mouth as he moves. In his arms, the child shakes his head helplessly in the darkness, hardly able to see anything. Clovicia. She saved your life. I'll get you out safely. Then I'll come back to bring her back. This is no resting place for her. Noel sits up, puts the trembling boy on the ground, and reaches behind to pull the fragments out from his own back. The boy grabs Noel's clothes. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you behind. It's okay. It won't kill me. Nothing can. A smile, understood only by him, appears on his lips. Meanwhile, his fingers locate the final fragment, lodged between his scapula. He grits his teeth and pulls it out. Did I spook you, Ollie? Sorry. Don't worry. Come with me, and I'll get you out. Whatever it takes. Enduring pain had become a habit. Noel lifts the child again and searches his memory for a path that will take them to safety. I came from this way. Hang in there, Ollie. We'll get you out soon. Your parents are waiting. The child shakes its head. What is it? And struggles. You, want to get down? It's quicker and safer if I carry you. Don't you want to see your mom sooner? The child jumps down. Alright, stay close to me, and don't let go. The child nods and grabs the corner of Noel's clothes, even wraps it around his palm tightly without being told, indicating that he understands Noel. Alright, let's...
You have walked a long path. Poor soul.
Suddenly he hears an ethereal voice echoing in every direction. A mist spreads in the darkness, surrounding him.
Why have you come?
Noel can recognize that voice anywhere. He cannot move. A sudden cold fury buffets his reason, nailing him to the spot.
What do you want?
Stop. He does not know why the voice chose this moment to appear. Instinctive mistrust overcomes all judgment. Stop your parlor tricks.
I thought you wanted to meet me.
What are you talking about? Who are you? Where are you?
I'm here. You came for me, and I came for you. All you need to do is open your eyes.
Noel has never seen the owner of the voice, nor gathered any clues about their appearance. Over the long years, all he could do was to piece together rumor after rumor, letting questions simmer into hatred. If this voice is real and not his imagination, then it must... Is that so? Then I'm sure you can tell me. Are you the wish-granting fairy, or the powerful nation's sentinel? The unicorn, hidden in the shadows of history, is both benefactor and villain.
I am all that, and none of that. I am merely here now to promise reparation to you, poor soul.
You don't even know my name. What I went through must have been insignificant. Hardly a footnote to a legend like you, compared to the affairs you've meddled with.
That is untrue. You harbored a possibility that I placed hope in. How would one little weed of unknown breed grow if it never wilts? And how will it affect the lands around it? That was my thought when I bestowed immortality upon you. What should have been a blessing?
Blessing? Your arrogant blessing has brought me nothing but an eternity of pain.
That was not my intention.
But that's what it became. Death by 1,000 cuts. Except you wouldn't even let me die. It's nothing but a curse.
I understand your anger. Tell me, what will make you feel better?
What? Will you bestow another blessing upon me? Noel can feel the child grab his clothes even tighter. Can you hear me, Ollie?
Mm-hmm.
This voice is a liar. Don't listen to it. Don't think about it. I'll take you out of here. Whoever you are, you can ask those legendary heroes who dance with you. Me? I'm leaving.
Few are those who hold a helm in the tides of history.
Are you complaining? To me?
If you consider my blessing a curse, I might offer you reparations. Make a wish. What is it that you want?
A name, thinks Noel. Just a name. This bastard, this villain who stands ever on high because of her powers, has long forgotten the weed's name.
You have a chance. You have already gained much more than a common man.
She must be filled with pity as she gazes upon me.
You poor, insignificant creature. I will help you. I will help you always. Let us wipe away the tragic past with a beautiful future. Have you made up your mind?
Let's go, Ollie. We've wasted enough time here. The child grabs Noel's clothes tightly. Yes, child. I'm here. Don't be afraid of the voice. It's just a bad guy, no different from the ones ravaging the city above. I'll come back to catch it later. But first, I need to get you out. It's Ollie! Mr. Nowell found him! Over here! A hand! Careful, child. I'll lift you up. Take it easy. No worries, sir. I'm up here. I'll grab him. Your turn, Mr. Noel. Are you hurt? Do you need a hand? No need. Noel clambers up friskly, but stops at the edge of the tunnel entrance rather than walking toward the crowd gathered not too far away. He looks up again at the sun shrouded by thick clouds. It is one of countless sunrises he has seen, but this one is a little different because of those who have lived to see it.
Ollie, my baby! Oh, the fright you gave me. Oh, next time I'm holding on to you and never letting go. I won't let this happen again. But where did this blood come from? Are you hurt?
The child shakes its head.
Strange, I don't see any wounds.
It looks at Noel. Ollie, where's the lady who found you first? Is she still, The child shakes its head again. She wasn't down there? And again. Oh, you're always like this. Well, it's all good. I'm so glad you came back safely. Thank you so much, Mr. Noel. The man waves at Noel with something other than anxiety or panic on his face. It is a smile of gratitude, with a sincerity that makes Noel awkward. All he can do is nod and smile back. You're, welcome. But the man keeps walking until he is right in front of him and reaches out a hand, as though words alone cannot express his gratitude, and so Noel keeps the smile on his face and shakes the extended hand, almost unconsciously. Only then does he finally realize that pain is spreading, from his back to his chest to the rest of his body. He has difficulty breathing and bends down, grabbing his own collar. The wounds he received from the rubble have still not started to heal. Sir? Are you okay? My goodness, you're back! I didn't realize you were so badly injured. We have to find a doctor. How silly of me. You are a doctor yourself. I'm injured? The wound on your back, it's still bleeding. It's so big and there's more than one. Are they not healing yet? No. That's normal for us, but I suppose it must be strange to you. What happened down there? How did you get hurt? That leader of the Salvation Corps is down there too, isn't she? She protected Ollie. I have to do something for her. At least bring her body back. Clavicia. Her name was Clavicia? That does ring a bell now that you mention it. I didn't even get a good look at her before all of that happened. I heard she was a great woman. I'm the leader of the Londinium Self-Salvation Corps. You can call me Clavicia. I'm all that and none of that. We cannot promise a reward either. I am merely here now to promise reparation to you, poor soul. I'm afraid we don't have time to discuss this.
Tell me, what will make you feel better?
A great woman? I don't know. Clovicia, he had passed right by the one he spent his entire life looking for, without even realizing it. But it is no longer important. With great effort, Noel looks up, fighting against the pain and difficulty of breathing. In his blurry vision, he sees a child clutching his mother's hand tightly. The boy is the very picture of health, his hair and skin a warm color, with a smile on his face. Just like...
I'll take you to the Salvation Corps, or the Exemplars. They must have had medics.
No.
What? Why?
Just like the sun.
Mr. Noel, are you okay? Hang in there!
Noel falls to his knees, no longer able to support his own weight. It is as though the fatigue of 100 years of wandering has come upon him in an instant. Before his hands and feet grow cold from blood loss, he curls his body down, ignoring the searing pain as the wounds on his back stretch until his head touches the ground. It is a posture of worship and reverence, but he is not praying to anyone. He lifts his head after a little while. The leader of the Salvation Corps was not in the ruins. The pain lingers, as does the urge to cry his heart out, but all is silent, and only the beating of the heart resonates in his chest. The thing that would make him happy, the thing that can kill him, it is already here.
What was that?
Clovicia wasn't there.
What about your injuries?
Right now, rather than spending my time on futile efforts, I should spend it on saving more people. Holy hell. Now that is something I did not expect from this card. He is mortal again. He can age. He can die. Holy shit. He did it. He actually managed to somehow get it through into Clovicia's head that the immortality that she gave him is absolute dog shit. It did do some good stuff, like at the end as we've seen, but overall, the life of an immortal person that never was immortal to begin with, whew, this guy went through some motions in life. But yeah, this ended on a note that I didn't expect. This technically ends his story here, I would say. Unless he's gonna be appearing into something more in the future, this is actually the end of his story right now, I would say. He was searching for the person, the thing that gave him immortality and placed this curse essentially on him, as he calls it, and he found it, and apparently Clovicia took it away again. Good! I'm actually happy for the guy. He actually can live, so to speak. But yeah, once again, this just... as we've already learned from Grand Overture, where Clovicia appeared for the last time, and so far at least, up until now, we've already learned there how much of a kinda self-centered dickhead she is when it comes to her role as the unicorn and the fairy. But at the same time, she kinda also helped people. I mean, she did organize the Salvation Corps and everything and let them... You know, there's kind of like a balance here with this character, with being like, yeah, she's helpful for the people, but at the same time, all of these blessings that she's giving people, I mean, as we've learned from Grand Overture, which again, by the way, for those of you who haven't gotten to that story, is in the description of this video, but as we've gotten through that story, she's a bit of a dickhead when it comes to these blessings. like the Aslan family basically suffered because of it, and other heroes throughout the past also suffered for it by getting her blessings, because there's always some kind of repercussion to it. And in this case, in Noel's case, she's an even bigger dickhead. My god, the guy never was anything special. He was just a normal dude, a normal optician, making glasses and everything, and then one day he wakes up and he's unkillable. Which might seem great, or unageable as well on top of it, which might seem amazing and great, but at the same time, the absolute despair you have to live through life of every single one of your family members will outage you visually and die while you keep on living. The children of your own children will and their children down the line will not even recognize you anymore at that point. They will not even comprehend that you are their grandfather or something like that. It is a horrible fate, quite honestly. It is one of those, you will live, everybody around you who you love will die. Great. What a fate. What an amazing fate. But yeah, it seems that he kinda got through to her. And she took the blessing back. Good, Clovicia! In the role of the fairy and the unicorn, you kinda did something good for once. Actually good for once. I hope she actually realized that she did a bad thing there, and that's why she took it away and didn't just think like, he doesn't want it anymore and took it. I really hope she actually realized, because she is still around. She is not dead yet, as indicated by the conversation he had there at the end, while he was still in a cave, of course. And as we know from Grand Overture, which is the story... Grand Overture, by the way, takes place after this story with Noel. And also after the story with Eblana here that we've seen. The Talulah part also probably... I think every single one of these... Obviously, I haven't read the last three, but I think every single one of these is taking place actually before the events of Grand Overture as well. So all of this is kind of set in between everything, I would say. But next time we will see what is happening in the next three. I do want to say just one thing very quickly. The only thing that bothers me about the story collection is that we are doing the same thing again that we did, for example, way back in the past with Surtur, where in Surtur's case, she was also tied and introduced to us with a story collection, and there was only one card that was dedicated to her. It was like 20-25 minutes long at most. And until her addition into the stories for IS4 and recently IS5, we basically had no lore. Now, obviously Entelekia here has the benefit of being part of the main story, and also Grand Overture, if I remember correctly. But at least we will get a bit more story here, or rather, at least she has already a bit more story around herself. I do wonder what this is gonna be about. Honestly, I'm mostly interested in what this is gonna be about. Why is there a card dedicated to the Nachtzerer? Why are we... Why is this gonna be? Are we gonna exchange recipes? Favorite foods? I'm hinting at his little appearance in Casdalian Rescue. By the way, for those of you who haven't seen that, that was peak comedy. Yeah, this will be probably my most interesting one. This one I don't know what it's gonna be about, unless it's probably like a bridge point for the next main story section, more than likely. But this is me just speculating right now, because speculations are fun. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what this second one is gonna be about, and my god, I'm gonna destroy my throat with his voice. I hope he doesn't have too much dialogue, because it will make my throat bleed. But anyway, this will be it for today. Next time, then, we will continue with the next three, we will finish them off, and we will see what the other three entail. But until then, thank you all very much for listening, hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please consider leaving a like, it will help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you want to support me more directly, memberships are also open on the channel, but as I always say, no video will be behind a membership, it's purely there for support for me and my work and the channel. So thank you very much to all the members already doing so, much appreciated. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next part. Until then, see you soon. Oh shit, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, that looks amazing. Okay, so that's how it looked like, huh? So yeah, this was the scene that was only described by the soldiers and by text, of course, during chapter 14, when Lakshmi came to the Gestrel, and then Eblana went like, well, time to show off! My dear sister is here! Gonna impress her! I'm totally not yandere for her! Nope! From a corner comes a rustling sound as Shen turns a newspaper page. Oh god, she's here!
Nothing to say even after listening for so long, Shen?
She's just here. Alright, yeah, right. She did run into 9 at one point during the main story, and then it just cut away and we never saw what happened next. Right.
This isn't the place to wax nostalgic about your own days on the Force.
Oh shit. Oh, this is cool. Talulah standing between them and mediating. Oh, that is cool.